structures like military industrial complex and things like that. I really also appreciate the theory you have about why are those people are doing this. Also, those shootings. Is it because of some kind of energy? Is it some kind of blood oath to have people lying for each other? I really believe that is an accurate statement. I really believe that also. Yeah.
Yeah, and I believe too that our own government, the U.S. military, uses black magic as part of their arsenal of weapons. In dominating the whole entire planet. We just hearing this thing how we have all these soldiers over there in Niger. Who even knew? But we got soldiers operating everywhere, man. With no accountability, no underground, no, it's all in secret. So
yeah, we should also discuss some fun topics in the future.
Yeah, we should, man. And no, because you're 80 episodes. How long? Do you know how long it takes to watch the whole thing? Have you ever timed it out?
No, I hope that you did because you saw it all at once. You said.
Yeah, the only 2 times I've ever watched it. Well, the other times, you slip across, you run across it. I'm researching something else. But the 2 times I sat down and watched the whole thing, it took days. It took more than 2 days to sit down and watch the whole thing.
I think we're ready for 9 hours of entertainment, yeah.
Yeah. And it really is when you lump it all together in one sitting, it is eye-opening. The patterns you see. What about, we didn't even get into the biker gangs pattern, because that seems to be everywhere too. There was this one, it always sticks in my head, that they had like a farm and a bar, and that they had all kinds of, they had refrigerators with human parts and stuff, and there was bikers involved. I don't know where that was, though. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I think it was Robert Picton case in Canada, yeah. It is really a big case. Robert Picton was, with his brother Dave, not very popular, and they didn't have a lot of money, and later their parents died for just of natural causes. And they sold a piece of land, property, and they really received like a few $1 million, a few million Canadian currency. And they really started to give pretty big parties on their property called Piggy Palace. And it was really a charity work, and all people came by, law enforcement, people in politics, also different entities from motorcycle gangs. And yeah, it really became too much. And it is not really proven, so it's just speculation. But the story goes that there are maybe hundreds of Native Americans were tortured there and killed. And even their flesh, meat was sold there.
Yeah, they were making sausages out of them and giving them to their friends. Yeah. Now, we're almost toward the end of the show. We're almost out of time. Now, you were saying some things off the air about you have a theory about Harvey Weinstein?
Yes. I really believe that Hollywood was being under pressure. For example, the last documentary, which really exposes the underbelly of Hollywood, was An Open Secret.
Yeah.
And I really think this is all a smokescreen because they have to come forward to make some kind of statement about pedophilia and sexual abuse in the entertainment industry. And I really believe Harvey Weinstein is just a patsy. I think he already knew, like months before it happened in the news, that this was his stepping down of the entertainment industry. I mean, one of the most prominent victims, which is alleging his conduct towards her, is Rose McGowan. And Rose McGowan, the actress, was also a participant, a member of the Children of God, and a cult. So it's all those links are really weird. I think it's not really coincidence in any case.
Yeah, and Children of God, that was River Phoenix and Joaquin Phoenix were in there as well, and all their connections, all kinds of stuff, the Viper Room and Johnny Depp and everything we know about them.
Yeah, I think they really said let's talk about sexual abuse in middle-aged women and not children. And it was, yeah. If you see An Open Secret, you see it it's more applied with children than with older females. Yeah.
Right, because in Open Secret, they talk about this digital entertainment network that was created in the late 80s, early 90s by these two teenagers, two little boys. Okay. One of them was actually underage. Was this older teen went to his house and got custody of him and brought him back to his own house. They had a mansion called, I think it was called the Embassy or the Ambassador's Place or something like that. And David Geffen gave, and several others, Bryan Singer, gave these kids $150 million. One of them gave them, but the other one gave hundreds of $millions so they could create their own movie studio and have auditions and a lot of TV series on the internet that no one could watch because computers were too slow back then. But they had their own movie studio where they were doing auditions and creating films and TV series and interviewing little boys and taking films of them and having these wild parties where these investors could go to the parties and get in the hot tubs with the little boys at midnight. And they all this is all documented in lawsuits all over the place.
I know, it's really eye-opening catcher, the documentary. Very good documentary.
Well, you know what? Even I have my suspicions about that documentary, too. That again, it's just like you described. It's like a little loss leader, where they give you a little bit of information, a limited hangout, where they give you a little info, but they're really covering up the big stuff. Because, what goes on is just notorious, especially with everyone knew about Harvey Weinstein. Everybody knew this story. In fact, one of the lawyers I worked for was involved in some lawsuits that got settlements, years ago. So this is widely known with Weinstein, at least, And what other producers that people know about and things going on? But you're right. If they do an official story now, if they do the Harvey Weinstein movie now, and they've already done a couple. He was in an episode of Entourage, a story about a character based on him. There's another documentary called Overnight about Troy Duffy, who got an overnight sensation and talks about what happened with him and Harvey Weinstein. So the stories are out there, but the stories about this systematic pedophilia going on is not public and should be.
Yeah, it's all kept under the rug, under the carpet.
Yeah. All right, brother. We only got a few minutes left. What do you want to leave us with?
I encourage people to watch Program to Kill / Satanic Cover-Up on YouTube, and also to go to centerforaninformedamerica.com, David McGowan's website. It's being hosted by his sister, so people really should check that out.
Yeah, that's actually his daughter. His daughter, he gave custody. He gave it to his daughter in his will. So and while that stuff is still up too, because a lot of it sometimes gets taken down, they have plans to do different things with it. So people should really get that as quickly as they can. Any story we didn't cover though that you want to cover real quick? You think it's important?
Let's see. No, I don't think so. No.
Got everything? Listen, thank you so much, man, because I know, the first recording destroyed, and I begged you to come back, and then you had a thing to go to, and I begged you to come early in the morning. We're doing this like 8 o'clock in the morning. So, Patrick, thank you so much, okay? And anything comes up you want to promote, give me a call. We'll put you right on the air.
Thank you, Ed. Thank you for everything. And I have one good quote for everyone.
Yeah.
Once there was only dark. If you ask me, the light is winning.
Amen. Amen. Hey, what about you? Do you have any kind of faith? Do you have a personal relationship with God?
No, I'm agnostic.
Agnostic, okay. All right, brother. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, bye-bye.
Good night. All right, there you got Patrick. Great guy. Program to Kill, Satanic Cover-Up. Incredibly well done. And it basically gives credit to Dave McGowan throughout the whole series over and over. It's on the YouTube channel. Verbally, he does it. In fact, that's how I found Dave McGowan, by the way, is through this video documentary series, which I can't praise enough. I found this and I watched the whole thing from cover to cover, and then I found Dave McGowan, and then I brought Dave McGowan on the show, and then I started mentioning Dave McGowan on Coast to Coast and John B. Wells, and and got him booked on those places. I hate to say it, but and then really bizarre organized meddling to sabotage the relationship between me and Dave McGowan, especially at the time when Cisco Street Love was still alive and Maury Terry was still alive and all that kind of stuff. And these weird people who inserted themselves into my life and really stalked McGowan in his hospital bed when he was dying of cancer. And a very bizarre story. in order to sabotage our relationship, and which was only doing good as far as I could see. I think I did as good for him as I could. Although you got to think too, if it was killed, God forbid that maybe by giving so much exposure, it was possible cause of that. Anyway, Program to Kill, Satanic Cover-Up. If you can watch it from beginning to end, great content in there. A lot of it comes out of Dave McGowan's book. I just did after the show tonight, if all goes well and we don't lose this tape again. By the way, the first show we were supposed to tape with Patrick was the Sunday of the Las Vegas shooting. We were supposed to tape in the afternoon, then that night. So I was watching 80 episodes of this, and then we had the Las Vegas shooting where I was up all night, and then we had all that horrific stuff go on the next day to keep my kid home from school, and we had all that going on, and, so, it was just, and it's just, this program has just been, this interview has just been under attack in so many different ways, even before we started it. I just did a show. I told the behind-the-scenes story of Art Bell, the Art Bell feud with David John Oates and Robert A.M. Stevens and Ted Gunderson, and my involvement in all of it from start to finish. It's a 1-hour show. It's available in the members section. Check that out. A lot of people, I haven't had one complaint about it. Everyone who's listened to it's enjoyed it. Some people have contacted me in the middle of it saying, whoa, wait, this stuff is gold. I haven't even finished listening to it yet. It kind of ends kind of weird. There's a few things at the end I want to add. So maybe I'll add to it in the future. So that's up in the members section. Right now, I got to be blunt with you. Okay, this has been a horrible month. From the first day of this month, the month of October, with these horrific tragedy here in Las Vegas, and then with my computers were out for a whole week. I had no computer for a week. One of my computers is still down. I'm using Victoria's old laptop and my old 3-in-1 here, all-in-one gateway, which is like 10 years old. And so we were having a really, really rough month here financially. I had a couple of jobs I was supposed to get this month, and both of them fell through. That would have been great jobs that would have lasted me for the next couple of months. PI work. And I've been devoting a lot of time to updating the member section. I gave a lot of shows in the member section this month, guys. And so really, if you can help support the show at this time. See, that's a good example. That could be a client right now, and I can't take the call because I'm doing the show. You understand what I'm saying? I'm supporting all this. I'm funding all this, and I need your support. I need your help. If you can help out, okay? And there's a ton of content in the member section, especially if you're listening to this, me, for the first time through Program to Kill, Satanic Cover-Up. If this is the first time you've heard this show, there's great content in the member section, okay? There's stuff in there about the Arliss Perry murders. There's stuff in there, interviews with Bill Mentzer's girlfriend. A lot of stuff, really intense stuff. That interviews with me when I'm interviewed by other people. That's not in the. Sometimes there's profanity and I can't put it on the air. So there's a lot of content in there that's available to members only. Okay, and it's very cheap. It's only $6 a month. If everybody who listens to this were just to buy that one Art Bell show for $2, not everybody, even if 1% of the people listening to this did the $1.99, I'd be set for the next 2 months. Okay, and I could devote all my time and energy to rebuilding the website, to doing all the kind of stuff we want to do here. Okay, and investigating different things for you, to do all that. Okay, so that's all I'm asking. And if everybody who's already you're new and instead of buying that for $1.99, join for a month. $6, you join for a month. If you want to get that Art Bell show, just join for a month, and just that alone would get me through the next couple of months. It would be so much help. Otherwise, you can always send a donation to oppermanreport@gmail.com. And advertisers, guess what? We just got accepted. Our show is being played on Amazon Alexa. It's on iHeartRadio. It's on iTunes. It's on YouTube. It's on Stitcher. It's on Spreaker. It's on Podbean, on Podbill, Podbay, Pod. Frog Pod. It's not even got a pod thing out there. And we're going to add some more. But so it's on like 10 stations. Some big ones too, man. You advertise on this show. It's incredibly cheap. It plays out to hundreds of thousands of people a week, and then it's archived forever to millions of people. So, and it's incredibly cheap, and it helps support the show, helps support the work, and it'll get me through this month. So if you want to advertise, you contact me at oppermanreport@gmail.com. I'll hook you up this month because I really need to get through this month. So member section, blah, blah, blah. What's that other thing called? Sponsorship or donation, okay? And,